The Cold War was a time of shadows, a geopolitical struggle that defined an era. It was a period marked by intense ideological conflict, proxy wars, and the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. Of two superpowers, America and the Soviet Union, each vying for global dominance, each representing a fundamentally different vision for the world order. Locked in a silent global standoff, a tense balance of power where any misstep could trigger unimaginable consequences. The world held its breath, caught between competing ideologies. Their greatest contest wasn't just on Earth, with its political maneuvering and military posturing, but also in the heavens, the space race. Every launch was a national triumph, a symbol of technological prowess and national pride, fueling the competitive spirit of the era. Every astronaut a symbol of hope or power, a testament to human ingenuity and the boundless potential of exploration. They were the faces of progress, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. In America, space heroes were household names, celebrated in the open, their achievements broadcasted and admired by all. They were the embodiment of the American dream, reaching for the stars. But behind the Iron Curtain, a world shrouded in secrecy and control, the Soviet space program operated in secrecy. A veil of mystery concealed its inner workings, its triumphs, and its failures. Successes like Sputnik and Laika were broadcast as proof of Soviet superiority, showcasing the nation's scientific and technological prowess to the world. But failures, mistakes, and the human cost, the sacrifices made in the pursuit of space exploration, were hidden, buried deep within state archives, concealed from the public eye, and often from history itself. This secrecy created a void, a space where rumors thrived, where speculation filled the gaps left by official silence, and where the truth became increasingly difficult to discern. For every Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, a global icon celebrated for his courage and pioneering spirit, people wondered, how many others tried and failed, their stories untold, erased from history? Into that silence, fears and suspicions grew, fueled by the lack of transparency and the ever-present tension of the Cold War. Stories emerged of lost cosmonauts, pioneers whose missions ended in tragedy and cover-up. Were their phantom rockets launching into the unknown, their purpose and fate shrouded in mystery? Silent tombs orbiting Earth, forgotten relics of a space race where the stakes were higher than ever imagined, their occupants sacrificed for the glory of the state? Were individuals knowingly sent on missions with little chance of survival, all in the name of national pride? Was Gagarin truly the first, the undisputed champion of space exploration, or just the first to return alive? A question that lingers, casting a shadow over the official narrative. This is the heart of a mystery that has haunted space exploration for over 60 years. A puzzle with missing pieces, a story with unanswered questions. A story of lost cosmonauts, ghosts in the machine of the Soviet space program. Phantoms whose existence is debated, their stories dismissed by some as mere speculation, but whose legend refuses to die. Their memory kept alive by persistent researchers, amateur historians, and those who believe in the possibility of a hidden truth. Welcome to a journey into clandestine signals, whispers from the past that may hold the key to unlocking this enduring mystery, alleged cover-ups, the lengths to which governments might go to protect their secrets, and a truth that may still be locked away. A truth that, if revealed, could rewrite the history of space exploration. Even before the internet, rumors found their way out of the Soviet Union. Whispers spoke of disasters, vanished cosmonauts, and missions gone wrong. Journalists and diplomats in Moscow heard tales of launch explosions and missing names. The seeds of the lost cosmonaut theory were planted in these early rumors. Names like Gennady Mikhailov and Alexei Ladovsky surfaced. Supposed pioneers lost in space. The Soviets' own actions fueled suspicion. Altered photos, erased names, and secretive behavior. If they could erase a man from a photo, could they erase a dead man from history? The early days of spaceflight were perilous, and both sides suffered accidents. The Netherlands catastrophe in 1960 killed dozens, yet was hidden for decades. If such disasters could be concealed on the ground, what might be hidden in the silence of space? The vast expanse of space holds countless secrets, whispers carried on radio waves, and stories that may never fully reach our ears. In the rolling hills of northern Italy, a unique chapter in the space race was about to unfold. Two brothers, Achille and Giovanni Giudica Cordelia, possessed an insatiable curiosity and a passion for the unknown. They set up a homemade radio station, christened Torre Bert, a testament to their ingenuity and resourcefulness. Their goal was ambitious, even audacious, to intercept signals from the secretive Soviet space program, a program shrouded in mystery and Cold War intrigue. In the late 1950s and early 60s, at the height of the space race, they claimed to capture chilling transmissions, fragments of sound that hinted at something far more profound. November 1960. A faint SOS in Morse code, a desperate plea echoing from the void. It seemed to originate from a spacecraft in trouble, a vessel lost in the unforgiving depths of space. February 1961. The haunting sound of a human heartbeat and labored breathing. A sign of life struggling against impossible odds. Then, agonizingly, fading into silence, leaving only the cold emptiness of space. May 1961. A female voice in Russian, filled with panic and rising fear. She was describing flames and overheating, a terrifying ordeal as her spacecraft hurtled through the atmosphere. Then silence, the chilling end to a desperate struggle. The brothers believed they'd recorded the final moments of lost cosmonauts, victims of a space race that demanded secrecy and sacrifice. Their tapes became the centerpiece of the lost cosmonaut theory, a controversial and enduring mystery. To believers, these were the smoking gun, undeniable proof of a hidden tragedy. Raw, emotional, seemingly impossible to fake, resonating with a profound sense of loss. The Giudica Cordiglia brothers weren't spies driven by political agendas. They were just curious amateurs who stumbled onto a possible secret, a truth that powerful forces may have wanted to keep buried. Their recordings gave a voice, however faint and distorted, to the nameless phantoms said to haunt the Soviet program, the cosmonauts who vanished without a trace. The world listened, captivated by the mystery and the potential human cost of the space race, and the legend grew, fueled by speculation, intrigue, and the enduring human desire to uncover the truth. Were these real tragedies, genuine cries for help from the edge of space, or elaborate hoaxes, cleverly constructed to deceive and mislead? The mystery deepened with each passing year, shrouded in secrecy and Cold War paranoia. And the line between fact and fiction blurred, leaving us to question what we truly know about the early days of space exploration. The lost voices echoed across the world, a haunting reminder of the risks and sacrifices made in the pursuit of reaching for the stars. The Torre Burt recordings weren't the only fuel for the legend. High-level whispers and news reports added layers to the story. Czech official Herman Oberth claimed a pilot died in a 1957 Soviet launch. Italian news agency Continental listed names: Ladovsky, Shiborin, Mitkov, supposed cosmonauts lost in failed missions. These names, real or not, became part of the lore. Even American writer Robert Heinlein heard Soviet cadets mention a secret launch in 1960, never officially acknowledged. Each story, each name, made the conspiracy feel more real. The legend became a detailed, alternative history of the dawn of spaceflight. The voices of the lost were everywhere. In the press, in diplomatic circles, in the quiet doubts of those who questioned the official record. The myth was no longer just a rumor. It was a mosaic of tragedy and deception. The world was captivated by the possibility of hidden heroes. Among all the lost cosmonaut stories that have captured the imagination of space enthusiasts and historians alike, one name stands out with particular intrigue: Vladimir Ilyushin. His story is shrouded in mystery, a blend of fact and speculation that has fueled debate for decades. Unlike the other alleged lost cosmonauts, Ilyushin was a very real person, a celebrated test pilot known for his skill and daring in the skies. He wasn't a ghost or a fabrication. He was a decorated member of the Soviet aviation community, and adding to his prominence, he was the son of Sergei Ilyushin, a famed aircraft designer, the mastermind behind some of the Soviet Union's most iconic planes. This lineage gave him a unique position within the Soviet system. The story, whispered in hushed tones and debated in clandestine circles, claims that he, not Yuri Gagarin, the officially recognized hero, was actually the first man to venture into the vast expanse of space. The narrative unfolds with a specific date, April 7, 1961, when Ilyushin supposedly launched into the cosmos, days before Gagarin's celebrated flight, successfully orbited Earth, becoming a pioneer in the truest sense. However, the triumphant flight took a dark turn when his spacecraft crash-landed, not on Soviet soil, but in the remote Chinese countryside. This led to his capture by Chinese authorities, turning a moment of potential glory into an international incident. Severely injured from the harrowing landing, his condition was critical. According to the story, he was quietly returned to the Soviet Union a year later in a discreet exchange, with the official explanation for his absence being attributed to a car accident. A convenient cover story to mask the truth. The Soviets, the theory goes, deeply concerned about the political ramifications, meticulously erased all traces of his groundbreaking flight from official records, and swiftly propelled Gagarin into history's spotlight, ensuring Soviet prestige on the global stage. The tale, with its Cold War intrigue, was first brought to light by British journalist Denis Ogden, and it quickly spread like wildfire through the international media, capturing the world's attention. It had a real person at its center, a decorated pilot with a distinguished background, a plausible timeline that fit within the known events of the space race, and a clear motive: to avoid national embarrassment and maintain the Soviet Union's image of technological superiority. For years, fueled by speculation and a thirst for hidden truths, Ilyushin's story was seen as the most credible and compelling of all the lost cosmonaut cases. It was a tale of bravery in the face of the unknown, a potential disaster that threatened to derail the Soviet space program, and a calculated political decision to suppress the truth for the sake of national pride. But the question remains: was it based on verifiable fact, or is it destined to remain just another captivating layer of Cold War myth and speculation? Despite the lack of definitive proof, the legend of Ilyushin endures, capturing the imagination of those who question the official narratives. It represents a perfect secret history, lurking just beneath the surface of the official record, a testament to the enduring power of conspiracy theories. And perhaps, given the passage of time and the enduring secrecy surrounding the Soviet space program, the world may never truly know the full and complete truth about Vladimir Ilyushin's alleged flight. For every lost cosmonaut story, there's a skeptical counterpoint. Experts have scrutinized the Judica Cordiglia recordings, finding flawed Russian and unlikely phrasing. Ilyushin's injuries are well documented as car accidents, not spaceflight disasters. Names like Ladovsky and Shaborin don't appear in declassified Soviet records. They were likely test pilots who died in conventional accidents. The Soviets' secrecy fueled speculation, but most lost cosmonauts were tragic figures of rumor, not space. Even doctored photos like Grigory Nelyubov's erasure were acts of political punishment, not evidence of fatal missions. The myth is a product of misinterpretation, coincidence, and the vacuum of information. It's a legend born from secrecy, not hidden truth. When the Soviet Union fell, its archives revealed the real story, one of acknowledged tragedy, not hidden cosmonauts. The first cosmonaut to die in space was Vladimir Komarov in 1967, killed when his Soyuz capsule crashed on re-entry. His death was a public tragedy, not a secret. In 1971, the crew of Soyuz 11, Dobrovolsky, Volkov, and Patsayev, died from depressurization during re-entry. Their sacrifice was also publicly mourned. The Nedelin catastrophe in 1960, a launchpad explosion, killed at least 78, hidden for decades but eventually revealed. The truth was as dark as the rumors, but different. Real people, real failures, real cover-ups. The Soviet program's history is filled with acknowledged loss, not erased heroes. The legend of lost cosmonauts endures, but the archives tell a story of known sacrifice. The real dangers of spaceflight were enough. The truth, when finally revealed, was both sobering and human. The myth persists, but the facts are now clear. The true heroes are those whose names we know. If the facts are known, why does the legend persist? We're drawn to mysteries, to the idea of hidden truths and forgotten heroes. The Soviet Union's secrecy was fertile ground for conspiracy. The lost cosmonaut myth taps into our fascination with the unknown pioneer, sacrificed, then erased. It's a story of injustice, of courage unrecognized. The myth is a cautionary tale about unchecked power and the cost of ambition. It's a cosmic ghost story, more dramatic than the messy reality. Sometimes we prefer the legend to the truth. The lost cosmonauts endure as symbols of the human spirit, even if they never existed. The story lives on because it's a better story. Today we live in an age of information. Archives open, secrets revealed. Historians agree, no cosmonaut was lost in space before Gagarin. The phantoms are explained as rumor and misinterpretation. Yet, a sliver of doubt remains. The Soviet Union was vast, its secrets deep. Some military archives remain closed. Could evidence still be hidden? History is always being rewritten. A new discovery could reignite the mystery. The question lingers. Have we truly heard the whole story? As long as doubt exists, we'll wonder about the heroes whose stories were never told. the legend of the lost cosmonauts will always haunt the dawn of the space age.